This is the legend of the original JackOLantern. In the Emerald Hills of Old Ireland lived a man named Jack, whose heart was as cold and sharp as the winter wind. He was known not for kindness or courage, but for his cunning and his relentless, selfish greed. Jack, often called Stingy Jack, was a master of deceit. He would trick anyone for a coin, a meal, or even just for the sheer pleasure of outsmarting them, never sharing his spoils. One dreary All Hallows Eve, Jack sat alone in a dimly lit tavern. He was boasting loudly of his latest exploit, his eyes darting around, calculating who might be listening, and more importantly, who might be buying his next ale. A cloaked figure, silent and still, had been watching Jack from a shadowed corner all evening. This stranger seemed to absorb the light, drawing curiosity and a shiver from those who noticed him. The air grew heavy, and a faint scent of sulfur drifted through the tavern. The cloaked figure finally stepped into the flickering lamplight, revealing eyes that glowed with an unsettling crimson hue. It was the devil himself. "Jack," the devil's voice rumbled, a sound like grinding stones. "Your time has come. Your soul, so ripe with wickedness, is mine to claim this very night." Jack, surprisingly unafraid, merely smirked. "Well now, old friend," he drawled, "surely a man deserves one last drink before such a journey, and who better to pay than the Lord of Lies himself?" Intrigued by Jack's audacity, the devil agreed, but Jack, ever the trickster, added, "And to truly pay, you'd have to turn yourself into a silver coin, wouldn't you? A grand trick for a grand farewell." The devil, amused by Jack's impudence, transformed into a shining silver coin, glinting on the wooden table. He expected Jack to pick it up and pay for the drink. But Jack, quick as a viper, snatched the coin and slipped it into his pouch, right next to a small, tarnished silver crucifix he always carried for good luck, or rather, for opportunities like this. Trapped by the holy symbol, the devil roared, a sound that shook the very foundations of the tavern. He thrashed and glowed within the pouch, unable to return to his true form. "Release me, you wretched mortal," the devil commanded, his voice muffled but full of fury. Jack just chuckled, enjoying his victory. Jack saw his chance. "I'll let you go, but only if you promise not to bother me for 10 more years, a decade of peace, and my soul is safe for that time." The devil, seething with impotent rage, had no choice but to agree to Jack's terms. With a flash of dark light, he disappeared from the pouch, leaving Jack to finish his drink alone. 10 years passed, like a whisper on the wind. Jack continued his selfish ways, though he was now a little more wary, always looking over his shoulder for a sign of his infernal adversary. On another bleak All Hallows Eve, Jack found himself walking a deserted country road, far from any tavern. Suddenly, the air grew cold, and a familiar, unsettling presence enveloped him. The devil reappeared, a menacing silhouette against the twilight sky. "Your 10 years are up, Jack. Now, your soul belongs to me, with no more tricks." Jack, ever the strategist, feigned a sigh. "Very well," he said, pointing to a tall apple tree beside the road. "But could I just have one last apple, as a dying man's final request?" The devil, eager to finalize the deal, and perhaps tired of Jack's delaying tactics, impatiently climbed the apple tree. He reached for the ripest, reddest apple at the top. As the devil plucked the apple, Jack swiftly pulled out his knife and carved a cross into the trunk of the tree. Just like the coin, the devil was now trapped by holy power. "Aha!" Jack cackled, holding up his knife. "Now, you're truly stuck. I'll let you down if you promise never, ever to take my soul, no matter when I die." The devil cursed and raged, thrashing amongst the branches, but the cross held him fast. Humiliated and furious, he grudgingly agreed to Jack's ultimate demand. Jack released him, and with a clap of thunder and a burst of dark smoke, the devil vanished, leaving Jack to his solitary trickster's life. Jack grew old, still as mean and greedy as ever, believing he had cheated death itself. Finally, Jack's life reached its end. His body grew cold, and his spirit departed, confident he had outsmarted both God and the devil. Jack's soul ascended to the pearly gates of heaven, eager for entry. But St. Peter, seeing the long list of Jack's selfish deeds and cruel tricks, shook his head sadly. "Your life was spent in wickedness and deceit, Jack," St. Peter declared. "Heaven has no place for a soul as tainted as yours. You cannot enter." Rejected from heaven, Jack had only one place left to go: the fiery depths of hell. He ventured forth expecting the devil, by now perhaps forgiving, to welcome him. But the devil, still smarting from Jack's endless trickery, appeared at the infernal gates with a grim smirk. "Remember our bargain, Jack?" he snarled. "I promise never to take your soul. And I am a demon of my word," the devil continued, his eyes glowing brighter. "Neither heaven nor hell will have you. Go wander the endless night, for eternity." As Jack wailed in despair, the devil, with a cruel laugh, hurled a single glowing ember from the fiery pits of hell directly at him. "A light for your eternal darkness." Jack caught the searing ember. With nowhere to go, he desperately carved out a turnip he had been carrying, placed the glowing coal inside, creating a crude lantern. And so, Stingy Jack, forever denied rest, roams the earth to this very day, his turnip lantern flickering eerily, a cursed guide for his lost soul. This is the legend of the original JackOLantern.